I'm Rosemary this morning. She rang earlier to say she's really unwell, and being Rosemary, she was trying to push through. But it's nice to know that even Rosemary sometimes has to let go and just look after herself. So if you're watching online, Rosemary, I hope you're having a good rest. So, as we start today, I would like to acknowledge the Aboriginal owners of the land on which we are meeting, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and to pay my respects to their elders past and present. Today we do church on land that was stolen and never ceded. And wherever you're meeting, whether it's here or online, have a moment just to also think of all of those thousands of years of history and care in your area. And our affirmation of belonging. Hartwell is a fully affirming community and fully committed to being a safe place for all people, regardless of gender, sexuality, race, family background, economic situation, and regardless of how old you are, where you come from, what abilities you have, what languages you speak, what religion, spiritual path, tradition, and ethical conviction. Everyone is welcome here, and we want everyone to feel safe here. So again, welcome, and welcome to our online people, wherever you might be. Lovely to have Lynn with us this morning instead of online. There we go. Excellent. Finally dragged her out. I didn't. She was very keen to come. So this morning, John will be leading us through some thoughts, interesting thoughts that have to do with the journey of life. And the journey of life doesn't start with our birth. The experiences of our ancestors inform where and into what circumstances we are born. And the effect of our life can ripple out long after we're dead. But there can be parts that are like chapters. Rosemary suggests that it might be good to listen to Ralph Epstein's Changing Tracks segments. Is there anybody listen to that? I never heard of it. So I'm reading her words here. There we go. Thank you. Radio ABC 774. Excellent. People write in telling of times in their lives when everything changed and the music that they associate with it. They're often heartbreaking stories of loss, and the music makes them even more poignant. So we might be thinking about chapters, episodes, changing tracks. But let's take a moment to centre ourselves in this space, to be here as a bit apart from what we've been doing before and what we're going to be going to afterwards. So just take a moment to find a comfortable position. Feel the floor beneath your feet, noting how it helps to ground you. And then take a few slow, clearing breaths. Imagine you're standing in the middle of a lush green garden. The sky above is clear and vast. The soft, warm spring sun gently shines down on you. Around you, everything is vibrant and alive, with fresh blooms of every colour. The air is alive with the scent of flowers and earth, and a gentle breeze is blowing, bringing with it a sense of calm and tranquility. In this moment, feel your connection to the earth beneath you. Picture your feet rooted deeply into the ground as though you are part of this beautiful landscape. Feel the warmth and vitality of spring reaching you and allow it to fill every part of your body. With each breath, breathe in the freshness of the season. As you breathe in, feel your lungs expand, taking in the crisp, clean air of spring. With each exhale, release any tension, stress, or negative emotions you may be holding on to, allowing it to drift away with the breeze. In and out. Take a moment to reflect on the beauty of this time of year. The earth is awakening, and so are you. You are part of this cycle of growth, change, and renewal. You are deeply connected to the rhythms of nature, and as nature blooms, so do you. Now take one final deep breath, inhaling the energy of spring, filling yourself with vitality, and exhaling any last remnants of tension. Carry this renewed energy with you, knowing that you are ready to embrace the opportunities of this season. And when you are ready, open your eyes, expand your awareness back into this room. Trevor is going to, oh, there you are, right there in front of me, light the Christ candle, after which we'll have the reading.
Morning. Lighting the candle is the most high-pressure job of the service. You may have noticed I've never been asked to do it. Okay, today's Bible readings from Luke 9, 23 to 27, and this reading is from the Message translation. Don't run from suffering. Embrace it. Follow me and I'll show you how. Self-help is no help at all. Self-sacrifice is the way, my way, to finding yourself, your true self. What good would it do to get everything you want and lose you, the real you? If any of you is embarrassed with me and the way I'm leading you, know that the Son of Man will be far more embarrassed with you when he arrives in all his splendour, in company with the Father and the holy angels. This isn't, you realise, pie in the sky, by and by. Some who have taken their stand right here are going to see it happen. See it with their own eyes, the kingdom of God.
We're going to sing together the song Faith Will Not Grow. Please remain seated. Faith will not grow from words alone, from proofs provided, scripture known. Our faith must feel its way about and live with question marks and doubt. The pattern Jesus showed we share. Life comes through death, hope through despair. God is made known in brokenness, and faith feeds on God's emptiness. The church still tells how Jesus came through death to glorious life again. The strangest story yet may be, our faith will thrive on mystery. Faith takes the little that we know and calls for hope and tells us go. Love and take courage, come what may. Christ will be with us on the way.
Now, Meryl, you didn't mention the grand final. I know that's such an exciting thing for you. I was up at 4:45 yesterday morning to jump in the queue at the members, and with my two children and my first wife, not my second wife. It's a family affair. It's a long story. So we got in there at 5:30 and got in the queue and got tickets, really good tickets. So it was a great day. Grand final day was a great day to be there. Does anyone remember Brian McLaren? Nobody.
Who?
Yeah, who? Who? So Brian, when he talked to me about going away, Brian McCallum. What did I say?
We knew who you were talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, that Brian. Oh, is it? Oh.
Actually, quite well. I tweaked.
You tweaked? Yeah. Brian McCallum. No one remembers him anyway. Brian who? Brian asked me when he was going away whether I'd do a reflection on one of the Sundays, and he said, look, you can do this, that or the other, and he said you could do a book if you want. And so as soon as he said I could do a book, this book came to mind for me, The Critical Journey. Stages in the Life of Faith by Janet Hagberg and Robert Guelich. Now it's a book it's a book I read in January 2022, and it was the end of the first year of my Art of Spiritual Companioning course. But this reflection really isn't about that book, even though I come back to it. The reflection's really about fear. Fear has been a constant companion my entire life. It's led me to where I am today. But fear has also been my friend. So my journey with fear is and has been quite difficult at times. So to understand the impact of this book, The Critical Journey, on me, you need to understand a bit more of my backstory. In 1976, I graduated from uni, got married, started a new job, and started a new job in the Department of Agriculture at the State Research Farm in Werribee. Now, I was doing a research project, and to think of myself as a researcher is, I wasn't a really good researcher. But I was doing research on the lysine requirements of baby pigs. So lysine is an amino acid, and my job was to come up with the perfect amount of lysine in a diet that would make pigs grow really quick. And towards the end of 1976, I had to make a presentation on my research to all the researchers at the State Research Farm. And I remember distinctly, halfway through my presentation, I looked over at my supervisor. He looked thoroughly bored, and I fainted. I went bang, and I fell backwards and hit my head, so off to Werribee Hospital. Anyway, 3 weeks later in church, I was doing communion for the first time, and yet halfway through, I fainted. I'm not sure whether you saw this week, but Nicola Osliger won a gold medal high jump at the World Athletics Championships, and she talked about the peace that she had whilst she was jumping, because she knew her performance didn't determine her identity and her value. My experience in 1976 was quite different to that. My identity and my value were tied up in my performance. The common issue both times I fainted was fear. I was so scared of not doing these talks well and of what people would think of me that in the end the fear overwhelmed me and I fainted. And fear has been a monkey on my back for as long as I can remember. Fear of being bad, fear of being rejected, fear of being no good, and fear of being abandoned. About the same time my fainting was happening, I had a different experience. When I was praying one day, in desperation, I suddenly experienced this amazing peace. It was an experience I had not felt before, and it was extraordinary. I wanted more of that. So I've been playing cat and mouse with fear and peace and the divine ever since. As a result of my fainting, I didn't do communion again for 17 years. But I had to do lots of talks at work, and that was incredibly challenging. But I learnt over a long period of time I could perform okay. And this is a short video clip that Bo's going to show from 2 hours of live TV I did in 2008, and I wonder whether some of you remember this. Thanks, Bo. Just turned up, Bo, if you can.
Look, it's his knowledge, but where there's great suffering and there's been huge suffering here, there's great love. And this man and his love for his son, it's wonderful to see. And the message to parents around love and this issue being a health issue, there's been too much rubbish said today on the radio. The shock jocks have had a field day, and it's time to treat these people as people. And we don't have to keep judging them, they're just people who need our support and care. Michael, addiction.
Thanks, Bo.
Is it curable or is it true?
Anyone remember that? So show the next slide, Bo. No, that one. Thank you. So it's the Such Is Life video from Ben Cousins. It created a lot of controversy at the time, and but it was an opportunity for where I worked at the Australian Drug Foundation to talk about the issue of people who use drugs and how we mistreat them, the way that we judge them, and that they just need our love and care. And the person who was sitting beside me was Ben Cousins' father, Brian, and the love and care he showed for his son was just extraordinary. Ben Cousins, a leadership coach some of you have heard of, talks about two types of confidence: performance confidence and self-confidence, which includes self-acceptance. After a nightmarish start over 30 years, I gained a lot of confidence in how I was performing, and I learnt to not only manage it, but to do it well in most cases. But underneath all my performance, I was masking my lack of self-confidence. In actual fact, I was kidding myself, presenting an image of myself that wasn't what I was feeling inside. Crowe says this about self-confidence: Self-confidence is our trust in our inherent worth, the belief that we are worthy of love, connection and belonging. This also refers to our willingness to be vulnerable and put ourselves out there despite the uncertainty of life. People who often enter the self-development arena seeking performance confidence, but what most really need is self-confidence. So therein lied the challenge for me. I had learnt to perform, but all that was doing was masking my self-confidence and self-love. So at the end of 2021, I was 1 year into the spiritual direction course, and I was frustrated, anxious, uncertain and empty. The year had been a struggle and I was glad it was over. I limped towards the end of the year. Mum had died during the year, the COVID lockdowns were driving me nuts, and at the end of the first year of the course, I'd had enough and was going to chuck it in. And then I read the book, The Critical Journey, and it had a profound impact on me. The Critical Journey describes 6 stages of faith on the spiritual journey, and between stages 4 and 5 is what they call the wall. And I hit the wall. In fact, it was like I kept banging my head against the wall. If you want to know what I was like at the wall, talk to Sue, she'll tell you. This is how Hagberg and Guelich describe what it seemed I was trying to do. Although we deeply desire to give our will over to God and even believe we are doing so, in truth we are trying to deal with the wall in the same way we have gotten through life, on the strength of our own will and gifts. We are trying everything we can to scale it, circumvent it, burrow underneath it, leap over it, or simply ignore it, but the wall remains. While this described me really well at this point, I was trying really hard to stay in control at the wall and manage the outcome. But no matter what I did, the wall remained. Hagberg and Guelich describe 3 symptoms of being at the wall. The first one is always questioning. People at this stage are trying every possible way to understand themselves, yet underneath they are simply scared to let people see who they really are. Second point, consumed by self-assessment. People are much more concerned with understanding themselves and growing their faith, even though they think the opposite. Underneath all this, they are just closed down and do not want to be changed. And the third point is immobilised. People are really doing the journey on their own and lack intimacy with themselves and others. People connect with others but are always on edge for fear of people discovering who we really are. So they are stuck, unable to reach inward or outward. So the following parts of these quotes really pulled me up with a start. People are simply scared to let people see who they really are. Underneath all this, they are just closed down and do not want to be changed. People connect with others, but are always on edge for fear of people discovering who we really are. These words were tough to face and accept because they were true for me. So I was literally stuck. I was stewing in my own juices. But I realised I wanted to change and what I needed to do, that I needed to do things quite differently. Hagberg and Guelich describe what started to happen at this point for me. Mystery lies at the core of the wall, a mystery that ultimately defies explanation but includes discomfort, surrender, healing, awareness, forgiveness, acceptance, love, closeness to God, discernment, melting, moulding, solitude and reflection. There were a number of challenges for me. Could I enable the divine to heal me rather than strive to do that myself? Could I be more vulnerable, let go of my need to be in control, and be much more honest with myself and other people? Deep down I knew I was a control freak. I know I'm not on my own there. And that I can usually think my way out of most situations. But in this case, my thinking became a liability and helped me stay stuck. The Jesus journey is about letting go of control, and that's what I needed to do. Richard Rohr summarises it this way: if I want to maintain an image of myself as innocent, superior, righteous or saved, I can only do that at the cost of truth. And the word truth really jarred for me when I read that. Cynthia Bourget says something else that was important for me. In terms of the spiritual journey, trying to find faith with the intellectual centre is something like trying to play a violin with a saw. It's simply the wrong tool for the job. This is one of the reasons why all religious traditions have universally insisted that religious life cannot be done with the mind alone. That is the biggest single impediment to spiritual becoming. So I needed to change. I had to face the truth that I couldn't think my way out of this, and I had to focus more on being. In her book, The Wisdom of the Body, Hillia McBride says, a basic understanding of the nervous system reveals that who we are as human beings is so much more than just our ability to think or plan or do abstract reasoning. It's our whole self. And so I started to listen to my body, as well as to love the parts of my body that I had rejected because they didn't measure up to my assumptions and expectations. This has been a long and important journey for me, and I'm still learning to pay close attention to my body. I also began to be with my fears and not push them away. And as difficult and as painful as that was for me, I began to sit with and be with my suffering. Richard Rohr talks about the importance of being with our suffering. Wait, stay right there. Stay where the pain is, where the suffering is, where the struggle is. Stay there. That's where it's going to come. The insight, the knowing, the wisdom, right there. I was not good at that. I would just push the pain and suffering away by doing anything to keep myself busy and not sit with the fear, the pain and the suffering. I'm a habitual doer. Reading books, playing games, reading the newspaper, checking news on the internet, drinking coffee, even woodwork I can use to avoid dealing with the stuff going on inside me. Central to all of this has been the change in my relationship with the divine. None of this would have happened without me being drawn closer and closer to the divine on the journey. As I've opened myself up to change and healing, I've enabled the divine to heal me and change me. I'm incredibly grateful for that. So I'm really grateful for this journey. So many parts of this journey I have not liked. Fainting twice while speaking is just one part of the bits I struggled with on the journey. But the Jesus story is about life, giving life to the bits of us that have been harmed and damaged. And of course, this is not the end of the journey. And some of what I've described today will continue to pop up on a regular basis. But I'm nowhere near as fearful of that now.
Thanks, John. Thank you. As we move into communion, we're going to sing the song One Bread, One Body. 4 choruses, 3 verses.
We are one body in this one
blessing which we bless, and we, though many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord. Many the gifts, many the works, one in the Lord of all, one bread, one body, one Lord of all, one cup of blessing which we bless, and we, though many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord. Grain for the fields, scattered and grown, gathered to one for all, one bread, one body, one Lord of all, one cup of blessing which we bless, and we, though many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord.
Hello again. Okay, so preparation time for those who aren't organised, like me. Critical. I picked up on this term. I wasn't quite sure what John was going to say. Maybe it's my negative personality, but critical. Oh, geez, we're going to get bagged here. Critical. Do we think of it as negative feedback or review? Fair or unfair? Challenging or welcomed? But perhaps we need to think of it as critical. Priority, key, winning or losing, life or death. What defines your version of critical? What's really critical for you? Food, water, the sustenance of life, survival, freedom, rights, self-worth, challenge, success, satisfaction, fun, excitement, love, care, value, a connection with the spiritual. Some of those might be critical, but at this time of communion, I wonder where community sense sits in the sense of critical. And that's really what, in my mind, we celebrate today. A time when our community comes together and we value it as critical in our lives. The community, disparate in some ways, disparate in views, but with some commonality, acceptance. It's okay to have different opinions. And he took bread, gave thanks and broke it and gave it to them, saying, "This is my body for you. Do this in remembrance of me." In the same way, after the supper, he took the cup, saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which is poured out for you."
Pastoral prayer. Gracious God, we come before you, holding the cries of the world in our hearts. We lift up the peoples of the earth who live with the weight of war, conflict and division. Bring peace where there is violence, and a reconciliation where distrust and fear rule. We hold in our prayers those struggling with illness of body, mind, and those grieving, those lonely or forgotten. May your presence be a comfort, and may our communities feel safe, havens of love and dignity. In a world so large, help us to see the small steps we can take each day. Give us patience to listen, courage to speak truth in love, and resilience to keep walking the path of growth. Shape our hearts so that in the face of despair we choose hope. When overwhelmed, teach us to be still, and when uncertain, remind us that even small acts of kindness echo into eternity. Gracious God, let peace begin in us. Let justice take root in us. Let love grow in us. Amen.
Thank you to all who have taken part in this service. It's been lovely and lots to think about. Announcements. Sue, you have something.
At the last hospitality meeting, we discussed whether we were going to do collections of hampers for House Next Door, and it was decided that Ros didn't want it this year, and so we were thinking about what else we could do, and I came up with this suggestion, which I did for myself last year, and it's a charity called Share the Dignity, and it's for women who are escaping domestic abuse and they need to go to a safe house, but they have nothing. And so what you can do is provide a bag. You can get it at the op shop, you can buy a new one, you can get a shopping bag, it doesn't matter what it is. You can also just donate items, and they create a list of items that an adult, these are the essential items that they may need, which shampoo, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, and a few things like that. There also might be teenagers, so there's a list of essentials that a teenager might require, or a mum and a baby, and what mum might need for a baby in these circumstances. So what we decided to do this year is to give it a go, and in November they do a collection of the bags, which you can take to Bunnings or other collection centres. So I've put a board up in the foyer, and I would love anyone who's interested to either bring a box of toothpaste or a bottle of shampoo, or create a bag of their own and just bring that too. There's lists out there by the board that you can take home with the shopping lists of what they suggest and what they definitely need. And there's other lists of just the adult bag or just the teen bags. So there's a website called Share the Dignity. It touched my heart, and I just thought we forget about these people. And in time for Christmas, they will have a collection of bags to hand out to women who arrive in the next year. So help if you can, please.
So will this be a collection point here?
Yes, well, bring them here and then we can take them to a collection centre. Yes, by all means. So yes, so thank you.
Yes, indeed. That's the hospitality group just keeps doing wonderful things, and thank you for bringing that into our community. For anyone interested, the Progressive Christian Network of Victoria is meeting on Zoom this afternoon at 4 o'clock. It's me, so those here have heard me.
You're just pulling out one of the sermons out of the drawer.
No, lectures out of it. I've got a lot more lectures in my drawer than I have sermons, John.
And also out on the table is some beautiful homemade lime cordial from donated limes. Anybody like to take some and donate, it goes to a Future for Kids.
Okay, right. Probably no point sharing that with the online people, but about things that you can pick up here. So lime cordial, yes, nice. Any other items of interest? Okay, let's share in the benediction. To the one who is there for us, who is beyond all we know, catch us into the winds of your freedom. Take hold of us in your generous arms so we too can care for these people, this earth. Let us know that what enough means. Loosen our grip on greed and status so we can stand open-handed in your wide open world. And when we fall off the edge of things, let us find your invisible holding. Amen. Let's join in our benediction.
I often used to lead the singing of this, but I've been superseded by Bobby, thank goodness. However, Bobby's not here today. Yeah. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of their hand. May God hold you in the palm of their hand.
Whereas I saw it.
It's actually
Thank you.